JRPGs and action RPGs have evolved and changed over the years with their own gimmicks and doodahs, and action RPG combat systems usually divert from turn-based in the sense it requires a lot more reflexes, response time, and usually you have more control over your character. Now, I love my turn-based combat systems, but action combat systems also offer a lot for gameplay. Now, in this video, I'm going to break down 10 JRPGs I believe have amazing combat systems, amazing gameplay on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 that you can go get right now. So by all means, if you guys enjoy my content, please leave a like and definitely make sure to subscribe, and let's get into the video. In our number 10 spot, we got Tales of Arise, the new Tales entry in the series, which released for PlayStation 5 and PS4. Now, this game, if you know my channel, is really important to me. I think it is such an evolution for the series in directions that I personally think are extremely fun. This game is going to have you using arts, which is basically ways to edit your own combos, just like the old Tales games, except there's a lot more emphasis on dodging. You're going to have this perfect dodge that lets you counter, kind of like some new systems in action RPGs, and you also could swap through all of your Tales characters like you normally would in a Tales game. They all play so distinct. Everything is really flashy, like the particle effects and animations are really good. The game brings a lot to the table for combat systems, and if you like action RPGs, I definitely would pick up Tales of Arise. Number 9 on our list is a weird one. It's Persona 5 Strikers, which is actually a Warriors game, kind of like Dynasty Warriors or Fire Emblem Warriors, except I would definitely call this game more so like an action RPG. It really is a Persona game at heart and has all of the RPG elements. The combat, though, is extremely fun. It takes all the best things from Persona 5 and basically morphs it into action-based. You got your all-out attacks you can achieve, you got your weaknesses, your elemental weaknesses, your personas that you can capture and level up and give new abilities. It basically has everything, except the combat is really fast-paced and smooth. And I also love the use of the environment in combat in this game. There's so many things scattered around the area where you could use in combat, like blow up a car, jump on a skateboard, put a giant snowball down a hill. Like, there's a whole bunch of crazy cool shit that you could do in combat and use your environment. There's just a lot of Persona flair in this, and I think it's like underrated in the Persona verse. I don't hear much talk about this game, and it's like it has all the heart of Persona 5, but with an action combat system and a brand new story. So I really recommend this game. You kind of need to play Persona 5, the original, first to understand the story, but it's not the end of the world if you go straight to Strikers. But I'm putting it on this list. Incredible combat system. The next game on our list for our number 8 spot is Scarlet Nexus. Now, who knew you could make a combat system where you have telekinesis and you could chuck objects like cars into enemies, but the combos are still smooth and have player control? I'm not kidding. I think this game is really well built, and it doesn't get enough credit. You could throw like whatever you want around your environment and you use all of your teammates' abilities. It's really wonky for a combat system, except it's smooth, and I think it has a lot to it that is really fun. This game needed a harder difficulty and more of a challenge mode, and you know what? They added it in free DLC. I was pretty shocked, and Scarlet Nexus is one of those games that if you have a PS5, you need to play it for the haptics if you like action combat systems. It is just such a fun JRPG in my opinion, and I don't see enough love for this game. Number 7 on our list is Valkyrie Elysium, which actually just released for PS4 and PS5. Now, this game I just made a review about saying it's underrated. Now, that is because every time I hop my ass on this game, I have a blast. It is so simple, but also so damn fun to play. You have a group of weapons that you could use, and you have your soul chain, which is this grapple that sends you from enemy to enemy. And you could also send out your party members at will. I love it. It gives a lot of player control, and there's a lot of fun combos you could do in this game. So if you haven't seen Valkyrie Elysium, I would definitely check it out. I'll also leave the link in the description for my review on this game. Number 6 on our list is Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. This was actually my first Ys game that I played this year on stream, and it was a total blast. The combat is one of the fastest combat systems I've ever played. No matter what you do, like, the character will go where you want them to go. There's a lot of really good tracking, like when you're trying to swing at an enemy, it is going to follow them, and the game mostly relies on using your skills at the right time, conserving your MP, and basically having really good reflexes. If you could perfect dodge and block, you could keep it going as long as you want. Like when I say this is one of the best games to try no damage runs, it really is. And the bosses really bring a fun time trying to perfect them. And Ys 8 was one of those experiences where I like to go back on and just play, just run around, smack some enemies, get some XP, and I really recommend this game to any action RPG lovers, for sure. Number 5 on our list is Star Ocean: The Last Hope. Now, this game has mixed opinions from fans and critics, but most people agree the combat is top tier. Now, I think this game has a lot to love about it, but the combat is seriously something else. They have a mechanic called blindsides, right? It's a take on perfect dodging that I think is so damn fun. You wait there for the enemy to basically look like he's gonna attack you, and then you run around to their side and get your perfect dodge. But the thing is, it's just funny because it makes the enemy so confused, and sometimes you can't just perfect dodge to the left or right. You gotta dodge left, and then you'll boost to the right mid-dodge. Stuff like that is just like a lot of fun, and each character plays distinct and has their own blind side. It's just super fun and unique, and when they do a unique combat system for a JRPG, it needs to do it right, and I think this game nailed it. If you like action combat systems, this game is usually on sale on the PSN store. It's a remaster of a PS3 game, so it should be pretty cheap, and I definitely recommend it. Now, if you've been following my content for a while, you've seen Kingdom Hearts 3 a lot on these lists. Now, that is because it's my personal favorite action combat system of this generation. More so the bosses. The Remind DLC has the craziest boss gauntlet I have ever done for any action RPG. This game has some insanely challenging bosses and requires really good reflex time and knowledge of the combat system. They also updated the game with a lot of abilities that gives it that tighter feeling that a lot of fans loved from Kingdom Hearts 2, and basically it came full circle in this Remind DLC with the best boss gauntlet I think you could possibly play. So if you haven't tried these data battles, I always urge action RPG fans to give them a shot. I really love this game. Number 3 on the list is Neo: The World Ends With You. This game has one of the weirdest combat systems I've ever played. You go around finding these pins, and each of these pins is basically like an ability that has a different animation. Does something like shoot fireballs, brings rocks out of the ground, icicles, you know, a whole bunch of stuff like that. It's basically a collect-a-thon, but it's one of the funnest combat systems I've played. Like, you could do some really crazy shit, and it really rewards you for playing the game well and kind of gives you more rewards as you play even better. So Neo 12 is a very underrated game in terms of combat. I don't see many people talk about this combat system, and I really think, especially if you like games like Pokemon and SMT, you should do it. There's a lot of collecting in it that goes in with the combat, and it's just a blast. Now, our number 2 spot, I got a little bit of a hot take for you for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's actually not one of my favorite combat systems of all time, mainly because I actually wish they either kept it turn-based or kept it full action. But it's on this list because I can't deny how well put together it is. Everything feels extremely well to pull off. The bosses are designed well, even though I think they have a bit too much HP, but that is because you have to use your turn-based abilities to do the most damage. You want to plan out your battles as you're going. I definitely had a lot of fun with this game, but most people who play this game end up having an extremely fun time, so I'm putting it on here to recommend to anyone who somehow hasn't played this game yet. If you like action combat mixed with a little bit of turn-based, the 7 Remake is a really fun time. The final game on our list that I think has a fantastic combat system is Tokyozanato EX. Now, this game is another game by Falcom like Ys 8, and the combat is just as good. Like, this game reminds me of an anime-style Souls-like. The way enemies swing and stuff like that, it's very reactive. You could tell when the enemies are about to attack, and you need to get those perfect dodges. It also has a really fun system to its dungeons where you have to keep your numbers going on your combo. You could also hit boxes and other breakables around the area to keep that going. So there's a really fun energy to it when you're fighting enemies and then you're trying to find the next item or enemy to keep that combo going and get the higher score at the end of your dungeon. Really underrated combat system in my opinion, and it also lets you refight all the bosses in a gauntlet at the end, and it's a really fun system that I think more games need to add. And those are 10 JRPGs I believe have amazing combat systems that you could go play right now on your PS4 or PS5. If you guys enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate a like, and if you guys want more JRPG content, please subscribe, as I'm going to be uploading a lot. I want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting my content lately. We've been going really fast to 1K subscribers, and I really appreciate you guys so much. I love bringing you guys JRPG content, it's what I'm passionate for, and I can't wait to bring you my next video. So I hope you guys have the best rest of your day, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.